Can't get enough BYU football? Listen to Cougar Nation. Mitch Harper takes your calls Monday nights from 6 to 7 on KSL News Radio. Podcast at kslnewsradio.com.
What's that line from Soulja Boy? Kiss me through the phone? Call me through the phone. Call me through the phone on Monday night. I don't know where I'm going with this. 1st and 12, Mitch Harper.
If you dialed in on a Sunday morning to make sure you got the highest of premium quality Soulja Boy references, you found it. Mitch Harper delivering.
I'm giving you the Soulja Boy. I asked, and this is totally off topic. You can talk about references. I asked Foose Traore.
Yeah.
He was doing, this is basketball.
BYU basketball, of course, yes.
Foose, after the game, he had a career high, 29 points in the win, and he was doing the Costco guys dance. We bring the boom! And I asked him, I said, is that your move, Foose, where you just say, I bring the boom? And he's like,
flex.
Yeah, I bring the boom.
Wow.
So I'm always keeping my ear to the street. I think producer Eric can appreciate that. Keeping those pop culture references,
You're so
music.
Fresh.
I'm trying, Alex.
The kids love
get
you.
older,
the kids love you.
Look, the secret to that, honestly, you follow high school football recruiting enough, you're going to kind of stay fresh.
You're
going to
listen.
You're going to naturally know the trends of what's happening for young people.
Well, I've got teenage kids, and so they remind me daily that I am no Mitch Harper. That's kind of how they hit on it with it. All right,
bring the boom. I'm getting that chicken bake after this show, Alex.
So
double
cringe,
chunk
Mitch.
chocolate cookie.
So cringe. Let's go with Week 13 of the Big 12. You can tell we're off the rails. You know why? Because it's been a long weekend for us, and we're glad you're here with us, though. So 1st and 12. Let's roll into what next week's games look like, and I think the bye weeks are kind of moving. We're moving off a lot of bye weeks. We have a lot more. Yeah,
Done.
we have just all games all the time, the rest of the season here for the last 2 weeks of the regular season. UCF at West Virginia. Interesting one. 2 teams with the Eastern time zone there, Mitch. And finally, we don't have to talk about whether or not one is going to have to go 2 time zone travel to get to the other. So UCF, the Knights are a question mark for me. I don't know what to think about them. I do think that Dylan Risk, their 4th-string quarterback, has come in and given new life to that team, and Gus Malzahn should have gone with him the whole time, but there you go. Arizona's got to go to TCU into Fort Worth to try to keep their kind of dream of can they get to bowl eligibility, Mitch, if Arizona wins out here? How does that work?
Yes, they're 4-6, so if Arizona wins out, they could go bowling.
Texas Tech goes to Oklahoma State. This one, to me, feels like when Oklahoma State can finally break through and get that win in conference play, because who knows what you're going to get with Joey McGuire. And Oklahoma State's coming off the bye. That's going to be a 1:30 kickoff on ESPN+. So that's my prediction of the week is Oklahoma State gets their first conference win. It's going to be against Texas Tech. Yep.
I can see that. Baylor at Houston. Baylor should roll in that one. Houston, but we never know. Like, Houston's been this team that can – knock off teams like so many in this Big 12, but I think Baylor cruises through that one. Cincinnati at Kansas State. I would see Cincinnati fighting for bowl eligibility. Tough spot to try to get that 6th win, so Cincinnati's missed out on some opportunities, and Kansas State's going to definitely have revenge on their mind. Then we get into the big games. Iowa State at Utah, 5:30 p.m. on Fox, so that'll be a primetime network TV game for the Utes as they go back home and take on the Cyclones, who still have a slight chance of getting to that Big 12 title game.
Yeah, but of course, the other couple that are big. By the way, that Colorado at Kansas game, could you just see Kansas beating, at Arrowhead, all the prime talk, and Kansas just goes, no, we're going to shut all this down and shock everybody with that one. And frankly, BYU fans, you should probably be hoping for that one. But the biggest game of the week is, of course, BYU going to Arizona State. You mentioned it, Mitch. 9-1 BYU, 8-2 Arizona State, of course. Arizona State, both of their losses came in conference play, and so BYU's got to hold serve and figure out if they can get themselves to the Big 12 championship game. If they win against Arizona State down in Tempe, they might be able to do enough to prove to everybody that, hey, move us on up in the old rankings if you're a BYU fan, and then the last week of the season, take care of business against Houston, and you got yourself berth into that Big 12 championship game. And then after that, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Why not?
And then we only got 2 weeks left, and it's going to be 2 8-game week schedules coming up here in the Big 12 Conference as the chase to Arlington heats up. And you know what? Brett Yormark talked in the preseason at Big 12 Media Day how this was going to be an exciting race. Well, it's delivering because there's so many teams still that have a chance to get into the Big 12 championship game. This show's been brought to you by Macy's Grocery Store. Get the freshest fruits and vegetables from local farms and your favorite local brands. Macy's, happy shopping. If you missed any part of the program, subscribe to the podcast on the KSL Sports app or wherever you get your podcast. And we'll be back next week, Alex. So for Alex Kirry, Mitch Harper, our producer Eric Cabrera, we will talk to you next time here on First and 12 on the KSL Sports Zone and KSL News Radio.